Hi everybody, it's Russ with HealthForward Online, and today I got a very special guest with me again on Skype, and we're going to talk to Steve Meyerowitz, who's also known as the Sprout Man. We've got an event coming up here in Sacramento on Tuesday, May the 4th, 2010, starting at 6:30 at the Art of Food restaurant in North Sacramento. And Steve's going to be here in town and talking to us about how to provide fresh, homegrown, organic greens, importance of wheatgrass, and different things like that. Learn a lot of new things and very informative. So here's Steve Meyerowitz, and tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got started in this.
Well, that's goes back quite a bit. In 1975, I made a big change in my diet and lifestyle. I gave up on conventional medicine. At that time, I was fighting lifelong allergies and asthma, and I wasn't getting anywhere with modern medicine. And I completely left conventional medicine, went on my own, started doing fasting, started doing yoga, started becoming a vegan, a raw foodist, growing my own food, going strictly organic, getting rid of the chlorine in my water, and lo and behold, I got results. And you know, it doesn't sound outrageous now when we think about it, but at the time, to me, I was totally impressed. Wow. I couldn't believe that I would be able to fix myself up when these doctors, who were the leaders of their departments, the heads of their departments at major medical hospitals, were working with me for years. And my symptoms only got worse. They exacerbated. My asthma got worse. My allergies got broader. And so what was I doing that they didn't know? And I bought natural healing, totally 100%. And although things have changed a little bit now, it's now 35 years later, and the organic movement is much bigger, and there's a lot more people drinking wheatgrass today than they did then, and there's a lot more doctors who are complementary doctors, or they do integrative medicine. So there's some, even medicine has improved a little bit since then, and how they embrace nutrition, or at least lifestyle and exercise. So there's been a lot of changes then, but you know what I became known for back at that time was this kind of kitchen gardening, because I was growing my own food. Organic food was even more expensive back in the 70s, and it was rare. And I lived in an apartment building on the top floors of New York City, and above the sidewalks of New York, and there was really no place for me to get affordable organic food, except that I started growing these microgreens, buckwheat lettuce, sunflower sprouts, pea shoots, wheatgrass, and wonderful things like radish and broccoli before broccoli was fashionable. I started growing a lot of things, and people discovered, when they visited me, they were curious. I started teaching about it, which is basically my effort to show people what I was doing. And I became famous for that kind of kitchen gardening, and I wrote a book subsequently by that name, and so I kind of got typecast with that. But of course, the food was really only one part of my journey to resolve my health issues. I've since had many other challenges to my health, as happens over the years. And I've always used diet, exercise, lifestyle, meditation, wheatgrass juice, juicing therapy in general, fasting in general. I've used all of my skills to pull my health together. And I've been able to overcome psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disease, and there are many other autoimmune diseases that people have, and they, we all have potential to do this. It's not easy to do, and not everyone will be successful using natural healing methods, but because it does take hard work. But I think if you've got some good guidance, I think you can, and you've got the motivation. and you're willing to put in the time and effort, you're willing to make the changes, we can accomplish a lot with just diet, exercise, lifestyle changes, fasting, juice therapy, wonderful foods, miracle foods like wheatgrass. There's a lot that can be accomplished and achieved.
All right. So how easy is it to do your own sprouts?
Well, what people think of as sprouts is things like bean sprouts, like mung bean and soybeans and lentils, and that's all fine. There's a lot of Asian food that is made that way, stir fry, wok dishes and all. But I'm more interested in microgreens, the green vegetables. I really feel that chlorophyll-rich foods are at the core of our natural diet. I mean, if you look around the planet, green is the color that comes of vegetation that comes out of the earth. And even if you go up to the Greenland, it's funny that it's called Greenland, even though it's white with snow.
Yeah.
They've got an actual tundra there, which is a short 1 or 2 inch long grass. And so every continent has some grass on it or some green vegetation, and it really is the food that is stimulated by the sun's energy. And if it wasn't for the process of photosynthesis, which develops these chlorophyll-rich foods, there would be no animal life, because it is the original food of vegetarian animals, and then, of course, the carnivores eat the vegetarian animals, but it's the beginning of the food chain. And so if you can develop these quality young baby plants, whether you grow them in the backyard garden or whether you grow them in the kitchen garden, it doesn't matter, as long as they're very young plants. And these are all within 1 to 2 weeks of age. And there is a super concentration of phytochemicals at this early stage, and those are the healing chemicals. These are extremely bioactive plants, and that makes them therapeutic in the same way that herbs are therapeutic, in the same way that people take echinacea for curing colds, or ginseng, or St. John's wort, or even garlic. Garlic is a concentrated herb vegetable, and these baby plants also have that concentration of nutrition and that healing power, just like wheatgrass has a healing power.
How about the powdered forms? I see that in the stores sometimes. Is that beneficial as well, or? In my book, Wheatgrass, Nature's Finest Medicine, I'll just hold up a copy here, because I'm sure some people have seen it. I do compare all the different types of grasses, because there are grasses that are grown outdoors, there are grasses that are grown indoors in trays, there are grasses that are dehydrated, there are grasses that are frozen, and of course there's fresh, and they all have a lot of potency, and they serve different purposes. So the dehydrated grasses can be much more concentrated than the fresh grass, because the fresh grass juice is about 93% water. And, when you dehydrate grass, it takes about 28 pounds of grass juice to dehydrate through the freeze-drying method, the best method, to 1 pound. So that's a 28 to 1 concentration. So you've got a much more concentrated grass, even though it's in a dry state. So there are advantages to both, and we can talk about the pros and cons of the different grasses in person. Okay, well, we're looking forward to that. We're getting close to our 10 minutes here. You've written over 10 books, and you're going to be bringing some of those with you to Sacramento, and there's some wheatgrass there, I see.
Speaking of wheatgrass?
Yeah, looks great. And how would people get a hold of you? What's your website?
Well, sproutman.com. I've got a blog. You can ask me questions. I've got a newsletter. Get on my newsletter list. I send out interesting things. I'll talk about, I can talk about what I had for dinner tonight, which was wakame, homemade wakame, which doesn't have to be cooked. It just has to be soaked. And I used lime juice in there, some spicy brown mustard, some Miso Master mellow miso paste in there, mixed it all up, olive oil to that. I had some avocado, some hearts of palm, some dill, and some sunflower sprouts. And that's what I ate basically for dinner. tonight. Some cashews. I added that at the end. That's like dessert.
Yeah.
But I try to focus in on these high-quality concentrated foods. Seaweeds are another concentrated food.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, we're looking forward to learning more. I'll post your website down below and also the date for this event coming up, Tuesday, May 4th, 2010 at 6:30, Sacramento at the Art of Food restaurant. Thanks, Steve.
My pleasure. See you in California.